May the 4th is just a few days away, and we'll be getting you ready by recapping the entire Star Wars saga. We'll also be talking to the composer of Secrets of the Whales, Raphaelle Thibaut, hearing from the cast of Marvel Studios' The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and much more. I'm Andre.
And I'm Jenny. This is What's Up Disney Plus, where we talk all things Disney Plus. In celebration of Lucasfilm's 50th anniversary, we're revisiting the Star Wars saga at lightspeed, brought to you by LEGO.
Jenny, I love the LEGO group, and they were so awesome to send us these really cool Star Wars sets to celebrate this anniversary, including one of my personal favorites. We got the X-Wing here, which I love because you can open up the cockpit, and there's Luke Skywalker, ready to fly. And look, got my boy R2-D2 in the back, and whenever they try to get me, I can put my X-Wing in attack position where there's a touch of a button, and it even has spring-loaded shooters ready to go. All right, Jenny, what's your favorite?
Well, I'll see your X-Wing and raise you a TIE fighter.
Ooh.
Just like the movies, it's very sleek. The cockpit also opens. It got the minifigures for the TIE fighter pilot, and it also has spring-loaded shooters, so tell that X-Wing to watch out, Andre.
Okay, so now we're challenging ourselves to punch it chronologically through the Star Wars saga. Are you ready for this, Jenny?
Almost, Andre. First, you see that lever in front of you?
Oh, this one right here?
Mm-hmm. Punch it in 3, 2, 1. Andre, do you copy?
Loud and clear, Jenny. Let's do this. First up is Star Wars The Phantom Menace, where the Skywalker story begins.
Obi-Wan, an apprentice at the time to Jedi Master Qui-Gon Jinn, meets a young Anakin Skywalker on the planet of Tatooine. Then,
pod racing, Darth Maul, lightsabers.
Coming in hot, we have Star Wars Attack of the Clones.
Anakin has grown up, and Obi-Wan has grown a beard.
This movie has everything. Jango Fett, clones, droids, parkour Yoda, big battles, and political intrigue.
Moving in fast is Star Wars Revenge of the Sith.
The Emperor executes Order 66, which nearly takes down the entire Jedi Order.
It all ends in a showdown between Jedi Master versus Apprentice, but at the end, Obi-Wan has the high ground.
You were the chosen one!
And this blasts us straight into our next movie, Star Wars A New Hope. Princess Leia is being held captive by the evil Darth Vader, so it's up to C-3PO and R2-D2 to get a message to our only hope, Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan, Luke Skywalker, and Han Solo work together to rescue Princess Leia and help the Rebel Alliance take down the Death Star. In Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back, the Rebel base on the ice planet Hoth is under attack.
Han Solo and Princess Leia escape in the Millennium Falcon, while Luke travels to Dagobah to train with Jedi Master Yoda during Luke's showdown duel with Darth Vader. Spoiler alert, Luke learns Vader is his father.
I am your father.
Gasp. Just when it couldn't get worse, in Star Wars Return of the Jedi, we find out that the Empire has built a second Death Star and fixed the flaw that took down the first one, so the odds...
Never tell me the odds. The Rebels team up with the adorable and feisty Ewoks, and then Darth Vader returns to the light side of the Force to help save his son Luke and take down the Emperor. The galaxy is safe! For now.
After the fall of the Galactic Empire, Luke Skywalker is in hiding, and there is a new threat emerging in the galaxy: Kylo Ren and the First Order.
Rey, a scavenger from Jakku, teams up with former Stormtrooper Finn and Han Solo to help the Resistance take down the First Order, and try to piece together a map leading to Luke.
Star Wars The Last Jedi finds Luke reluctant to educate Rey in the ways of the Force. Her rebel friends are being hunted by the First Order and end up trapped on the mineral planet Crate.
In a final stand, Luke Skywalker distracts the First Order long enough for the rebels to escape, sacrificing himself in the process.
And Porgs!
Coming out of lightspeed, we have Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker.
It's the return of the ultimate baddie, the Emperor. Rey and the rebels must work together to take down his final order of planet-killing Star Destroyers. Kylo, once again Ben, sees the light side and helps Rey take down the Emperor for good!
Yeah! Woo!
All right, I'm closing in on you.
Wait! It's a trap! No!
I have you now.
Jenny, stop hitting me! This is a rental! We did it, Jenny. You know, sometimes I amaze even myself.
You can stream the entire Star Wars movie saga right now on Disney+. Heads up, Andre.
Evasive maneuver. Attack formation. Ah!
And now, here's what's new. Congratulations to the entire cast and crew of Soul on winning the Academy Awards for Best Animated Feature and Best Original Score.
Ever wonder what 22 was up to before Joe Gardner came along? See 22 vs. Earth, an original short film streaming tomorrow on Disney+.
They get the job done. Star Wars The Bad Batch, an original series, arrives May the 4th on Disney+.
This May, the devil gets her due. See Cruella on Disney Plus with premiere access May 28th. Additional fee required.
Experience bold new storytelling from 6 new filmmakers with Disney's Launchpad Shorts. The original short films debut May 28 on Disney Plus. And now, Daniel Bruhl, Aaron Kellyman, and Wyatt Russell, stars of Marvel Studios' The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, are going to describe their characters using emojis. Take a look.
I roll emoji because you're gonna roll your eyes at some point.
There's that lovely purple mask emoji. Zemo finally gets to wear his wonderful mask.
The world emoji, because what she's doing is, trying to make the world a better place.
Brain explode emoji. Apparently that's how people feel, or so I've been told.
You don't want to do this? Yeah, we do.
Some unfortunate things happen in a container. So I would go for the flame.
This emoji, because power to the people. Again, what she's fighting for.
The hospital building emoji. When this guy goes anywhere, there's a lot of people, I'd imagine, who end up going to the hospital.
And the flame, the hot flame, leads into the dancing emoji because Zemo lets off some steam on the dance floor.
Is there an emoji with a like a weight or something? And they're like bending their little legs and they've got their little arms. Yeah, that that emoji too, because she's strong as hell.
I hope you all enjoy the finale of The Falcon and Winter Soldier on Disney+.
The Disney Plus original series, Secrets of the Whales from National Geographic, chronicles the whale way of life and their triumphs and challenges in the ever-changing ocean. We're now honored to be joined by the series composer, Raphaelle Thibaut. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
So can you tell us about your relationship with music and how you first got started playing?
It all started when I was very, very little. I had hearing issues when I was a kid. I couldn't hear from my left ear. And basically my parents put me to the piano so I can, re-educate my hearing. And so I was like maybe 3 or 4 when I started. So basically music was, my path to recovery from then on. And then I've been to an academy for like 15 years where I studied everything about performing and, reading music, but nothing really about composing. And I would hate it. I was like, why would you put me in this room practicing some other old guy's composition, from like 2 centuries ago? And I was aware that I wanted more and that I wanted to do something else, that it was not my jam, but I couldn't put words on it. It was so difficult. I was already very much into film scoring. I would listen to film scores all day long in my Discman. It was more like a dream, an obsession more than anything else. So I really didn't think it would be something I could do for a living. So I just quit music when I was 18, and I ended up in advertising and in tech, and I was still working at Google 5 years ago. Had a life-changing event at Abbey Road Studios in London. And 2 weeks after, I quit my job and went back to my first love, music.
That's incredible. I mean, it's really lovely. You end up finding your way back to your true love.
First love, exactly. I wasn't even aware it was my true love. I was like, oh.
Right. It's the most romantic story ever told. Yeah.
No, it's great that we're talking about this because a lot of times people think, they look at someone's career and they think, oh, they had it easy. They never really had to face any obstacles. Look how successful they are. Our conversation alone, you can see the journey that you've gone through. I mean, again, these 10 years that you were working for another industry, that happens a lot to many people. And it's never too late.
No, exactly. It's never too late. I'm 36 and I can already say that I had many lives. And also it just gives me more confidence about being able to switch in life, and just do whatever, life calls you to do. It took me a while to really own my story and to feel okay with my journey. That is kind of unique. I was kind of ashamed of it for a while, and then I just accepted it, and now I use it for, just to tell other people, whatever your story is, you have to take anything that's in your heritage, where you come from, the job you had before that, the people you've met in your life. These are all the features in your DNA that's going to make your music special and unique. To me now, it's more a blessing than, anything else.
What are the responsibilities of a composer?
Well, every time you score a movie or a documentary or anything, really, you have to top the quality of what you're watching. And that's sometimes a bit of a challenge because you can feel like my music is never going to be good enough for what I'm seeing. And it was particularly the case for Secrets of the Whales. There's already so much beauty going on that it's like, my music will never top that. Like the core challenge and the core objective for us is just to be able to support the emotions that's already going on there and convey it through the power of music.
What is your process when composing for a docuseries like Secrets of the Whales?
So when I started composing for the show, they had just finished, the filming. So I got really rough footages of the first episode, I remember. And I just remember sitting down with my piano and writing to the pictures as I was seeing them for the first time. That's usually how I do it. I really like to witness, how I react to, the first time I see the images, the way the audience would react. It was very intuitive. Like I didn't overthink it. I was like, I'm just going to use these symbols and rolls, percussions, for the waves, or when the humpback, jumped out of the water and snapped the waves with their fins. I really deeply believe that it's because, in a way, we're deeply connected to these animals and to, what's going on in nature. And that's how it happened to me. I really didn't overthink it. I think this is the project I had the most freedom for. I didn't have much guidance, like you should do this, you should do that, don't do this, don't do that. So that was really, really super empowering, and it gave me a lot of confidence throughout the production.
Yeah, I was curious of being someone who loves music, how it felt to be working on music while having these whales make their music of their own.
That's exactly it. I always call it the ultimate original soundtracks. It's like, it's music already. And also there's this thing, about this kind of documentary. It's also, there's a lot of majesty, with these animals and the big landscapes. So you want music to be grand. So it has to be very epic and majestic, but it cannot be too much to the point where it, again, overlaps and oversteps the pictures. So that's a big challenge, actually, to make sure that you don't ruin the already existing original soundtrack that you hear in nature, kind of being able to step back enough to leave room for everything else.
For anyone that's really specifically interested in composing, do you have any advice for someone who wants to get into that career?
Trust your own story and look back, because we tend to look, ahead. What am I gonna do? How am I gonna make it? And we don't even realize that there's so much we can use from our own story that makes us maybe even just slightly different from someone else. You need to sound different. You need to have your own voice, and you need to stand out. And you can use, your own thing that's within you, to achieve that. And the other recommendation that I would give is just very practical. It's just never stop writing, even if it's for no one, even if it's for yourself. I've wasted a lot of time trying to reach out to people, putting my music out there, creating a website, being on social media, and it was all a disruption, from the actual work of writing, because this is where you really learn. And then you have everything you need to put out there and to be proud of what you did. And there was always going to be a better time to put your music out there and convince people that you're good. but the first person you have to convince is yourself, and to be proud of what's actually going out your speakers.
I really like that last thing you said, that you have to convince yourself first.
Oh yeah. Always. It applies to everything in life, right?
I'm pretty sure you have just inspired a lot of people, whether they want to be composers or not. So we're extremely appreciative that you shared your story with us. And thank you so much for being here, Raphaelle.
No, thanks for having me. It was a true pleasure. Thank you.
The original series, Secrets of the Whales from National Geographic, is now streaming on Disney+.
That's it for us today, Andre. Head on over to Disney Plus where you can stream all of your favorites and more. We'll see you next week.
Great episode, Jenny. I never knew a pod of whales could make such a great orchestra. I guess where there's a whale, there's a way.
They sure know how to get things orchestrated.
Okay, we're not even doing this on purpose now.
Okay, it's time to get off stage.
Oh yeah? Watch this.
Watch what?